First, close your eyes and take a few easy, deep breaths. Dissolve all borders between anything and everything. Meaning, look inside at your thoughts, your perceptions, and your sensations, and notice all the borders, barriers, and distinctions between things that your mind entertains. And for each border or distinction that you notice, simply imagine it dissolving into nothing as you breathe. These borders and barriers include any thoughts that people should be different than they are. Notice them and dissolve them. My hand is separate from my arm. That's a border that's only in my mind. My body is separate from the chair. That's a border that's only in my mind. The door is separate from the hall. That's a border that's only in my mind. I am separate from the air that I breathe. That's a border that's only in my mind. I am separate from you. That's a border that's only in my mind. Notice and dissolve all borders that pop into awareness. Notice and dissolve any definition of yourself. Notice and dissolve any borders between yourself and the world. Notice and dissolve all compartments that keep certain types of things separate from other types of things. These can be mental compartments that separate thoughts and feelings from each other, or that separate body sensations from sounds, or that separate all sensations from perceptions. Dissolve all borders between one part of your body and another. Go inside and notice the walls in your mind that separate parts of you from other parts, and imagine them dissolving. Dissolve all borders between you and the air around you. Imagine the border of your skin becoming so porous you can breathe through it, and then eventually dissolving completely. Notice any resistance to the way other people speak and behave, and notice that this resistance is an internal barrier. It's only in your mind, and you can dissolve it. Notice any resistance to events or situations in your life, and notice that this resistance is an internal barrier. It's only in your mind, and you can dissolve it. Simply sit quietly and wait for inner borders and walls and barriers and resistances to rise into awareness. And as they do, simply imagine them dissolving as you breathe. After a while, you don't even have to attach words to the inner borders you notice. You don't even have to envision them clearly and distinctly. Some inner borders are simply felt inside you without words or pictures. Just sit and imagine all inner and outer borders dissolving. Now, let's do a shorter game style version of this called Pick Up Sticks. Look in your mind for any borders or boundaries between anything and anything else. You can look at them as lines or as sticks, like in pickup sticks, or as Jenga blocks. Simply look for them, and when you find them, remove them one by one. It's easy to recognize the boundary lines. Anything you don't like, any person you don't agree with, any emotion you don't want to feel, any distinction between one thing and another thing, any opinion about anything, any sense of inside and outside, or myself and other. When you remove each borderline, imagine it like you were removing a wall separating two areas of color, like blue and yellow. When you remove the wall, the two areas blend into one green area. Get creative. Be a detective. The more you play, the subtler the borders you find will be. Sometimes there can be a chain reaction. Moving one boundary line causes a whole bunch of others to fall away. In fact, the only difference between this game and pickup sticks or Jenga blocks is that when the whole structure comes tumbling down, you win. Now, take another nice, easy, deep breath. And when it's comfortable for you, open your eyes.